You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong. And welcome to the Morningscape podcast. I am your host, DJ Mitchell, here with Matt Moody, trying the inverse intro to the stream, where we do that first. And you know what, Matt? I think you were right. It's worse than talking first and then clicking the button. Oh, and then I just knocked my camera over. Matt, how are you doing while I fix that?
I don't have your video up, so I will have to go back and rewatch that to see if you did anything particularly stupid, or if you just set your camera up on like a precarious ledge, because it's very funny.
There's no lag.
I am great
right now.
We have moved on from strategy into actual hockey. So that's an exciting part of the summer, obviously ramping up the underdog drafts now, and moving on to analyzing actual players and thinking through that, which is nice. It's a nice change of pace rather than going, through EV calculations and everything else. Over on my Beehive, moods.beehive.com, I posted the Best Puck Manifesto. So please make sure you check that out with updates for this season, looking at the last 3 years of data collectively, as well as previewing what we think the contest will do this year with the new changes in place. So never a bad time to head over there and throw me a sub. And look at that. I think this is the first one of the season. We got the Stoner.
Hey, welcome back. How is Carl Hardy's Jr.?
Oh my God, Tua's here. We're so back. Everyone's back.
We already have 12 active people watching. I mean, that's more than I make in a year. When I say dozens of people, I'm not lying completely.
There are ones of dozens.
Ones of dozens of people. Oh my God. Yeah. So no, but it is starting to feel, I don't know, like today I actually was like a month from now, we're going to be betting on preseason DFS almost, I think. It's going to be really close.
I don't know.
Might be a month
There's like two preseason games, right?
I think it's the 20th. Yeah, I think it's
I literally think it's
actually.
like a week before opening night.
I did buy my first set of Sabres tickets for the season. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I am very excited for hockey season, as one would expect. And the manifesto is out. I just posted in the chat if you want to read it. It's incredibly good. It's very useful. I think that one thing that I try to emulate that you do naturally is I feel like you're not only a skeptic of things in general, but even of yourself in a way that I find to be a good way of probably living life comparatively to me sometimes, who is just like, everything's going to work out and actually it'll be fine. And the way that you go through things that you missed and were right on and be like, should I have been wrong? Should I have been right? Like, I find that to be very useful and an interesting way of thinking about things when I'm just like counting my money. Like, what'd you say? Like, oh yeah. Like, did I win on an empty net secondary assist on my bet? Sure fucking did. I deserve that. You know what I mean? Instead of you who are like, I know my guy scored a hat trick, but he only should have scored 0.4 goals. So I guess I didn't, really do that good of a job last night.
Yeah, I mean, I write specifically in the manifesto. There are basically 10 spots you can finish if you are entering 150 of these bad boys that will actually make you money on the season. And guess what? You're not likely to land in one of those 10 spots. So you kind of got to, cut through the noise and actually assess how you're playing. And, this is 3 slates. Like, God forbid. Everyone in the Discord knows I've had 3 consecutive bad nights of hockey, probably 10 times in a row before. So yeah, that's just sort of a natural way that, I go through life though, so it is a blessing and a curse when it comes to that, because I'm always, dissecting choices and EV and is that the right choice? My classic though is none of this matters. We're all going to die anyway. Like that's like my default.
Okay.
In life,
not Logan Cooley. I mean, Devin Cooley.
Yeah. My boy, Devin. But yeah, no. So I'll make sure to put that on my headstone. Actually it was a good thing that he was so, negative all the time about things.
Yeah, no, it's good skepticism, and I definitely think it's appreciated in a space where I'm not even gonna say like most spaces have people that think this way. It's just football has so many people thinking in one way or another that there just are going to naturally be some people that are going down that. And I know you've tried to maybe even use some of their ideologies and methodologies in what you do. So it's unique in the hockey space, I think, because most people are, I know everything and I'm the most correct. I don't see many people in hockey that are, I'm
turns
actually pretty
out
my
turns out
takes.
all the smart people in the fantasy space moved on from the place where you get no money, no one cares, and so any good work goes, punished because you're just wasting your time. So they've all moved on to other sports, I think, is sort of the name of the game. So it's easy to
Yeah,
look good when no one else is trying. That's what I will say.
I definitely agree.
Can we
But
play Stoner decoding for a second? Can someone
I
explain to me what this means?
Yeah, let's as we really start most of our shows with what the fuck is Stoner talking about? Looks like Queer Eye for the DFS hockey guy did a makeover on my boy Moods. Save some pussy for the rest of us, sir. I mean,
Is that
it
a
kind of sounds but
positive?
like Queer Eye for the
Yeah,
straight
okay,
guy
okay, I see.
meant that you're straight. He's not calling you gay. He's saying that you're actually a straight person who looks so good
Oh
that
for
you will be
one,
stealing
oh
all
for
the
two.
women.
Okay.
I mean,
God,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, for one. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, like he couldn't be more wrong.
all
As I
right.
sit here in my Buffalo Slug jersey, I certainly did not get a makeover from anybody with any taste or class. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we won't go into. I don't know how many pieces of detail you want to go into. I was kind of waiting for your manifesto to kickstart my next project that I'm working on right now, which is going to. I'd like to build something on separate, but in the same maybe linkage to the rankings where if you draft a player, it will boost players up that should maybe be more considered and really trying to exemplify some of the main points you were making
An
into
overlay.
a logic of an overlay. Only you're not going to use it as an overlay. I don't
Got
know
it.
if I'm going to like if it works well, I may reach out to somebody and be like, want to help? And then they'll
I
say
mean,
no. And
let
then
me
I
give you
won't do
some
anything.
free advice. If Davis
Yeah.
Maddock managed to spin up a Claude coded EPL overlay, I think you could do it, DJ. I don't think he's tech lording over here.
It's going to take time. I'll say first and foremost, I don't think I'm going to have this up like this week. I'm working on other things and working on mainly work, which is becoming I won't get into details, but just doing a lot of stuff actually with work and not leaving till 6. And then when I come home after using a lot of AI tools to do some of my work for me and build things that I can't build on my own, I don't really want to just start right back in, even though I like this a lot more. And I do like doing it, honestly. It's been a lot of
Same.
fun, but yeah. So I'm going to just start trying to put together something that's not going to be an overlay today. And if you could say like, I selected this player first round, great. And then change the rankings based on that. And then it'll say, this is, and like highlight players that would be, kind of star method players for you in some capacity and just sort of start building
Well,
that to allow you to use in the background if you'd like.
I wish you luck. You got 6 weeks till the season starts, so better get your ass in gear if you want it to be useful.
Yeah, 110 drafts left for me as we start recording. So yeah, I'm okay with it. And like I'll say this again, and I probably as many people watching now actually read my post on Dub Club, and some people may have just put the bet in or not, but like all of this setup I'm doing this year is going to be so it's ready next year. And whether there is best buck next year or not, I will have projections. I will be making them better. I will have tools that I could, what, if there's no best buck, I probably will draft more NFL because like I do like drafting and I will just want to do something to fill more time. So whatever, I guess I'll try to build some sort of an NFL thing because I want to draft and win money. So it is what it is, but we're going to have to wait and see. With all this being said, any other things you want to mention on the manifesto, or do you want to dive into a couple of the pieces? I don't think you want to go into
let's say we'll draft in 5-10 minutes, but since some people don't enjoy reading, not gonna name names, I will just pull up the manifesto and go through some of the pretty pictures in voiceover, some I haven't prepared anything for this, but I figure this might be a useful scroll. And let's see, what's the best way to present? Here, and then zoom, maybe make the text a little bigger. All right, so yeah, there's a lot of writing, and I updated the expected value calculation. I don't think it's particularly relevant for this stream, but basically I just boosted the sample sizes we're working with, because in prior years I only used playoff teams, and that was just a shortcut for me to try and say, well, I want to look at good teams, and I also want to look at teams that are relevant. And usually there's so many bad teams per draft, especially 3 years ago, for example, that, this is 5 years ago. You can see that like there were just some roster spots that were, or draft slots that were dead on arrival. And if you screwed it up structure wise, you were just totally dead. So it's like, yeah, I wanted to get rid of those teams and blah, blah, blah. So I updated the EV calculation. When we look at draft slot over the last 3 years, we find that EV tends to funnel toward the top. Interestingly, it's not quite as locked into McKinnon as you might expect. McDavid, McKinnon, etc. But like a few years ago, it was actually the 4-5s that were dominating things. And that's just the way it goes. A guy gets injured or whatever, or has a tough second half of the year, and that happens. The only time we saw any positivity in the back half of the draft, though, was 2 years ago, and I write a lot about that. So you can read about that. Basically to make the point that like if you draft in the back of the draft, you kind of got to make things work. You got to, find some way to rise to the top, because you are behind the 8 ball. Like there's just no way around it, in my opinion. This year looks no different. Yes, injuries can happen, but you're kind of, really struggling. And so we move on into stacking. 2-3 years ago, the mini stacks were in vogue. I talked about them all the time. Overstacking could be dangerous just because of the way there are so few players that score, et cetera, et cetera. Last year happens, and we go, well, now the 3 stacks get more powerful. And that's exactly what happened. So that was a kind of cool little thing. I think, DJ, this was one of the main things you were talking about earlier, where like sort of assessing where we were right and where we were wrong. I think somewhere in here I mentioned my McKinnon fade not necessarily working out. And then also mentioning that the 3 stacks definitely did perform the best, just given the contest dynamics. And I'll talk about it a bit more later, but I think we have evidence that it remains 3 stacks, or stacks of 3 should be your target this year. You don't need to get 3 stacks of 3, but if you have like 1 core stack, maybe 2 core stacks, that's sort of what I'm getting at. So you don't need to stack every pick, for example. Roster construction's a little interesting. The 3-7-3-3 was more powerful last year than even the 4-6-3-3, which we thought might have been upgraded by the extra flex spot. This year, the contest has changed, so this is all sort of irrelevant, but I think it is relevant as a starting point. And maybe that the elite centers might drive things more than depth of center. Same thing, going positionally through investment buckets. I don't think there was a ton here. Again, you should go in and read it and, get my thoughts on everything. Pretty interesting, I think, are these expected versus actual finals rates teams or views, because it sort of allows you to pretty quickly assess like what sort of builds were making the finals, because those tend to be the teams you remember. And so seeing like, oh, last year was a year dominated by Zach Werenski or McKinnon or whatever, you can sort of then assess through these charts, like, is the reason you remember it that way because they got lucky, or because, they met expectation and they were smashes regardless. So anyway, the one thing I think that is interesting is goalie, in that pretty consistent trend of positive results from heavily investing in goalie until last year. Last year was a complete 180 on this. And so my take is that when you combine this long-term trend, by the way, this goes past 2023. This is just what was in my R code. We have a 2022 data as well that I know we shared way back when on stream. We have a trend of being invested in the heavy start goalies being positive. And you look at the expected versus actual finals rates, and we see that even though the top two buckets last year had very low expected finals rates, they did advance to the finals a lot more. And I think part of that is just a simple factor of the stretch run in the NHL. Teams need to score. Teams need to win to make the playoffs, and teams want to play their best guys. This year, there's no Olympics break to really condense the schedule. So in theory, there should be less 3 and 4s, back-to-backs. So I do think we'll see a bit of a swing back toward the star goalies again. Also, they're cheaper this year. And secondly, we do have evidence that they did drive results last year, even though they were quote-unquote poor EV plays, because they took off in the exact time of year we needed them to take off. So there's evidence that in all 3 years then, that heavily investing in goalie is a positive. But again, take that for what you will. The league is changing. Goalies are becoming less reliable starts wise in terms of splitting 1A, 1B types. So there could be some noise or some signal here in last year's data. Finally, don't reach too much, but it also isn't a huge deal if you're reaching a little bit. That's sort of the memo here, because even in this bucket 5, you're not gaining anything on the field when you're drafting, and you can still have positive EV. So it's like, as long as you're not completely going crazy and just taking whoever, you're doing fine when you draft. And then get to this year's changes. I did a quick experiment on 16 round teams from last year, adding centers, wings, Ds, and goalies in various combinations. I talk a little bit about the process there. And it's pretty clear that adding a center and a wing or wing and a wing is best in terms of it impacting last year's scores. This could mean one of two things. One, that this is the best way to go and that these are the most valuable players later in drafts. Or specifically, two, that the centers were so good last year that adding more centers didn't help you because you were already jamming the center in the flex spots. So that's a little bit of interpretation, but I do think that the 3-7-3-3 sort of indicates the strength of that indicates that strong center builds are just going to be better, and that adding in some supporting scores on the wing where there's more options, more availability is likely the way you want to go. And then at goalie and defense, the options have fallen off so much to the point where they're maybe not the best ads at that point in time. So you can see adding a D and a goalie to these teams was the absolute not low. And again, some more data there. I adjusted it, got to the same story, and stacking didn't really matter with these late picks either. So the takeaway is basically stack the good players, not these fringe 18th round players. All right, that's everything. Please go check it out, moods.beehive.com. It's there's a lot more in there that I didn't cover. What do we got?
Okay. What have we got? Well, less people watching, which is I'm just kidding.
Let's go. Hey, I told you we were drafting in 10 minutes, and it's 10 minutes and we're going.
Do you want to both draft this time?
Sure. I don't care.
Okay. Let's both draft. I am going to log in because I guess I'm not logged in.
Okay. And should I join a lobby yet then?
Yeah, join it. And if I somehow miss, then I somehow miss. NHL, Best Puck Classic.
Need
30
6
seconds. Okay. I am in. And I will try the first iteration of the tool that I'm mentioning in just a second. I was just making a couple more edits while you were talking. And of course, I listened very closely, but I did want to fix a couple things that I remembered I wanted to fix. And I will pull it up in a second, but hold on. I will fix this. 4. So yeah, we need 4. So keep joining.
Hey, we're back. 18 live concurrents. That's crazy. Thanks for hanging out, guys. If you got questions, pop them in here. Now's the time.
Questions while we wait. 18 people when can't fill a lobby of 10 or 12 with people already joining. I will say, as I say almost every time, that these lobbies are still pretty soft. I know the ones that are doing a live stream have maybe a couple more sharps, but no, like I do think there's a difference between like one thing about drafters that don't know what they're doing is that they will not be taking into account some of the metrics you just talked about, which can hurt you from getting some of the more optimal stacks. When you have smarter drafters and they're making a decision between player X and player Y, and they consider their team that they're building, they may be more likely to take a piece that they need rather than a piece that might hurt your ability to stack the best team. So getting an array of different options through different drafts is what I try to do. I try to draft, some of the first lobbies, and I try to draft some of the last lobbies, which is why I have 40 teams in Best Ball Classic, although I did just maximize the penalty box because I like throwing 12 bullets out there for fun. They're 20, not 12, 20 bullets out there for fun. Any updates to your exposures? I don't know how many teams you've really drafted.
Oh no, I have mostly slows going. I'm in like 20 slows, and I only have the stream drafts on. I might have found one, but they're not filling fast right now.
I have a new number 1 most drafted player. It's last time we talked.
Owen Tippett.
No.
Ooh.
I've also Maverick Bork has dropped to like 25%. This player is 38.9%. I have 36 completed drafts.
Hold on. Kevin Fiala.
Kevin Fiala is second.
Oh fuck.
By $3 worth of drafts and one additional draft, which was a $3 draft.
All right. Oh my god.
I will give you the hint of it is a player that I'm taking primarily in the final 2 rounds.
Oh my god. No, not this. Josh Stone.
No. It is a center.
Center. Ryan Hartman.
No. Ryan Hartman is coming up the board quite a bit. He is 22.2%.
Ryan Hartman East, Shane Pinto.
Exactly correct.
Okay.
Yeah. It is Ryan Hartman. I mean, am I wrong?
I hate that I agree with you. Like, that literally makes me want to change my strategy. It's just like, fuck. Like, what are we doing here? Drafting fucking Ottawa Senators. Like, oh yeah, they're going to score all the goals. Okay. All right. Draft filled. Did the Manifesto gods smile upon us?
The answer will not surprise you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen for just a second, and I am going to see how well this works. This is this would be the roughest of rough starting attempts to what I'm going for, like I mentioned, that I built basically today and yesterday. And I'm going to test it a little bit live. I should zoom in quite a bit. So this is building in more of the scarcity and understanding of draft picks and boosting players based on what I do. So if I say I drafted McKinnon, it should move up. It moves up Cale Makar. It should start moving up more players based on that draft pick. Although it didn't move him into my roster. So that's a bad start. Oh, mine. Oh, I think I changed. I didn't even realize that changed. So if I take McDavid, mine means I took him. This means they're drafted. So now it's showing the stack. Okay, I didn't even realize that changed. What was my draft slot, by the way? Because I don't even have it up on my screen. Okay,
you're 5. I'm 6.
Should probably have this up on my other screen and not myself. Great. That's also great. Boom. I am now looking at the draft as well, and I will not be getting Connor McDavid, so I'll take him back. I also I think I'm going to get rid of all of these because I really only care about who I get. I don't really need to say everybody, but I guess in theory, it will remove them from the board if you want to. I guess based on my last iteration, maybe it just didn't re-update again since I clicked the button, but I am going to take Kucherov here.
I'm gonna get rid of you for
and I'm gonna say drafted, and now I believe it should recalibrate. And when it recalibrates, I'm so stupid. Did I click the wrong button?
No, I took you down because I.
No, not you.
Oh, okay. Well, Kucherov, Pasta at the 5 and 6. I think that's fairly obvious. I don't even think there's much discussion about them versus Kaprizov specifically. Maybe Draisaitl if you really prefer centers, but yeah, because center is pretty weak after. You kind of leave yourself like a Bedard, Scheifele top center if you take, Kucherov or Pasta and don't get a faller in Eichel, Hughes, or Tage. So it's a possibility that you take Draisaitl on that alone, I think. But fantasy points wise, I think that Kucherov and Pasta are the two clear best guys there.
I don't think it's live working. Best pick now.
Okay,
I'll see. I'm going to see about this in the background. And I will not. You don't have to share my screen anymore. I'll let you know how it's working, and I will update everybody. It's partially working the way I want it to, but it's not working in a way that I think is going to be all that beneficial. As if you literally get rid of every player that's been picked.
Anything like that, I think you need to
stagnant.
incorporate. I think you need to incorporate the schedule for that to be useful, honestly.
That too. I haven't yet. That's another thing I do want to incorporate. I do want to add some value to it. I do want to try to there's a lot of logic.
Bates is punting off. Thank you, Bates. He's drafting off of DJ's Claude rankings.
I did do some updates. So the one thing I may have mentioned it last time, but I was trying to find a way to say some prospects are like they already reached quite a bit of their usage peak. I'm not saying that they're not going to increase value based on how good they become with an aging curve, but giving Macklin Celebrini and like Michael Misa the same depiction of what they could become next year in like a bit more optimal scenario is just like not like Macklin Celebrini can't get more ice time. Like he's not going to get more. Like that doesn't mean he can't improve. I just don't think he should be improving at the same rate that a Michael Misa could improve on if he gets a much larger role. I'm not even saying that's a perfect example, but like Slavkovsky as well was getting this sort of like over exemplified boost on top of everybody else because it's like, oh, he's also going to get just as good, if not better than like all these other players. So now Caulfield's 29 and Slavkovsky's 37 because I kind of factored in last year's usage and tried to make that like a better predictor for next year and the increase in the statistics that matter, if that makes sense to anybody or anyone cares. So the rankings are updated and I can share that link, but I'm still working on this. You were on the clock and you were about to time out.
Yeah, this is just such a not fun spot to be.
Did you pick someone? Because still not there for me.
I was just gonna star a player.
Okay, you took Nylander.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take Connor.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a ton of I just feel like Nylander's a better player than Connor, and like Connor and Scheifele do play well together, but if they get separated finally, like is that I don't know. When you take Kyle Connor, I think you're just really setting yourself up for Mark Scheifele and Gabe Vilardi to be like driven up the board for you, and I'm not really excited to do that at this point in time. Yeah, so
someone took Brady Tkachuk, right? Yes, okay.
Yeah, Diego in I don't remember if he's Ontario or what, but are you guys going to draft on Drafters this season? That is the only platform available for me, unfortunately, based on location. If you're in Alberta, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Let us know if it's live. I can't.
I'm last I checked, it was not live.
So I can't. Pennsylvania doesn't have Drafters. All right.
Okay.
Tom here about Shane Pinto. We'll have the Pinto Wars later on, but I just think he's a pretty good rates player, and I think he's locked into second line time on ice with power play 1 possibilities. And again, when he gets the minutes, he's useful in all categories.
Yeah, it does not. Well, it thinks Vasilevsky's a better pick, but I have not taught it the logic of Kucherov and Vasilevsky not being as correlated. So it does actually like Vasilevsky a little bit more, but not to an extreme. Wait, so did that guy get? Yeah, he got Suzuki and Caulfield. Pretty rare.
Do you know if they are posting it on Drafters? Because interesting if so. No, not you, Diego.
Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, I believe they probably would.
Because usually by now they've posted it, so a little worrying. All right, what do we got going on? Draisaitl guy has Suzuki Caulfield, has Tom references. DJ going the all green. He's pissing green start. No crazy picks. Yeah, no, I think this is all fairly standard, which I guess I think all of these names are friends and family. So, yeah. All right.
I'm trying to keep up with this, but it is maybe not incredibly useful.
No, you gotta get something with an overlay that can adapt to the lobby. Like I don't know how to do it, but again, I think now you'll be able to do something. Unless he paid someone to do it for him, but Davis managed to figure it out. So
I think I could figure it out.
Hell, you could. I would download because he posted it in the Badge Bros channel. I would download what he did, feed that to Claude, and be like, "Hey, do this for hockey."
Yeah. What I'll do in the meantime is I will republish the rankings and post that really quickly. So anyone that wants to use just the rankings now, although I do think for some reason, no, never mind. Interesting. Okay. The one thing that I don't know what happened is for some reason it was thinking defensemen are way more valuable based on the information from the Best Book Manifesto, and I'm not sure why. But okay. Let me make sure the rankings are good, and I will post them in the chat if this is looking up to date. Yes, this will work. Nobody's in here, so that means it's probably the new one. And I always want to see the rankings. Am I on the clock? I'm one pick away.
No, it's me. Okay. I have Bedard, so I'm not too worried about center. I don't have Kucherov, so I don't need to worry about point. I think I will just take the goalie. Actually, no. I think I just want all of the Brandon Hagel. I can't imagine. He's just so freaking good, and this team is built around him pretty much in Kucherov. And he was being drafted 40 spots later last year when we didn't think he had a power play job, and now it's actually he's their primary power play option with Radish gone. I don't know how it's going to work, but I trust Kucherov to figure it out. And Hagel's stats are just out of this world good on a per 60 basis at 5-on-5 especially. So if he gets more power play stuff, it's just absolute gold mine in the 4th round.
If you can copy and paste the chat, that is the updated ranks, which, like I said, I built in some very small, not a massive deterioration, but Slavkovsky still looks unbelievable based on the update, but he's just not as unbelievable as he was. Still work to be done. I think there's some still work to be done, but yeah.
Here's Slavkovsky last year. Little progression for him to a full-fledged superstar.
I mean, there's something to, I think, the all rates nature of what he does that probably boosts him as more of a projectable
hey, look,
baseline.
Hagel
but
from a few years ago.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad comparison. He just gets more power play usage, and because of that, I think he goes from the ceiling isn't to the moon and back. I don't think he should.
Yeah.
I just froze. I don't even know, but I think fundamentally he's a better vacuum of points than he is a obvious best buck winner. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my team so far. I did take in the last round Mo Sider. That's somebody that continues to stand out from what I have as a very good value. With Kucherov and Gensel, you took Hagel from me, which is fine. I don't need every single Tampa player, but that just gives Braden Point, I think, the clear take here, basically at ADP, one spot after, but Kucherov, Gensel, Point to go along with Kyle Connor and Mo Sider. Shesterkin is the guy that I was debating between. You went Swayman anyways. I think those two are pretty, considerably close as well. But yeah, so I think we're in a good spot with my team. Matt, what do you got so far? Service the audio listener.
We don't post the audio, so it doesn't matter.
Service the person that can't read. And I'm not pointing any fingers at myself.
DJ, I have Pasta, Nylander, Connor Bedard, Brandon Hagel, Jeremy Swayman. Just Swayman over Igor, whatever. I have Pasta already, so it does not really matter to me. So I will just click dudes in net and not feel bad about it. This probably turns into a Boston stack anyway, so that I had in mind. We talked about this a little bit. I think it was in the Discord, in public chat, but the decision to look at stacking, not including goalie, is an interesting one, because I've looked at both in the past, and there is signal to stacking goalie plus skaters, but I think that it's really just due to the schedule, and that if you stack goalie with skaters, you're tending to pick stacks that fit together in the playoff weeks or something like that. And so those goalies would inherently fit together as from a schedule perspective. So it's not a major part of my strategy or anything, but when I get Pasta, probably will break ties with Swayman if it comes down to it. I would have taken Barkov there if he had made it to me. I think he went 3 spots before me. Because I do think Barkov's a pretty big tier ahead of Point, Aho, and maybe Sid. Interesting. The Roche here pulls up Fantilli, which is obviously not common. Let's see, what is he, 64? So, yeah, pulls him up ahead of Sid, ahead of Mika, ahead of Larkin. I think that's fine, especially chasing upside.
Forever. But, chat quickly. Mano's in here, otherwise known as the Fantasy Oracle. And he says that he has already built an overlay tool that isn't available yet, but will be shortly. And it already has a schedule, combos, and stack highlights. So that probably, with my projections, would be everything I'm trying to do.
Yeah. He's also...
I'm guessing he's also doing projections, so it's probably better than mine already.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you want, sorry. I was gonna say, man, if you want next week, I mean, definitely if you want to jump on, but if it's going to be kind of game time next week, and then flop winner just ruined me because I was almost going to get Larkin back to me, and that calls for a.
That's just great. I'm so glad you did that.
Brings you to the clock.
It does feel that way. Not gonna lie. All right. I'm gonna grab Dylan Holloway. I was between Holloway and Radish. I do want some exposure to Darren Radish. If Toronto's a good team, Darren Radish could definitely do again what he did last year. And I don't think we had enough Radish drafted teams. I feel like I might have looked, and there might have been 1 or 2, or a handful, but to see if he would have actually been a needle mover last year. But if he does that again, he's going to win the D position pretty much from the 6-7 turn are we at now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I actually had a moment there. I was like, oh, Radish. Oh my God, you fucking, he's on Toronto, obviously. Not that I truly had the moment, but I was just like, oh, Point, Kucherov. Oh yeah, no. And I already have Mo Sider, so I'm not going to get carried away. I ended up taking Nico Hischier at ADP. I like to put my condoms on and
There's
go each year.
Yeah, you can't do that, but if you DM me or post it in dog app, I can pull it up here and
if you
show
want
it.
to show something right now, I just assume if it's more going to be more ready for game time next week, as you said, it'll be available shortly. Then let's do that next week. I am up in 3.
Yeah,
Tua's on the clock. This is the perfect time to take Mackie Samoskevich, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I should mention sometime next week I'm going live with John at Badge Bros. Scheduled TBD, but in addition to our stream, there will be that. I'm gonna see if anyone else is game. But now that the manifesto's done, I'm in draft mode, and I'm in targets and writing stuff about the contest for this year versus anything like macro strategy wise. So player takes questions, if there's enough questions and I can do a mailbag on the Best Buck Classic, that's great. Like that sounds exactly like do my job for me kind of deal. But all that stuff coming over the next 6 weeks as we head into the season. So now's the time if you're asking questions or whatever. Okay, so I don't have any defensemen yet. I don't think Jarvis or Ovi make a ton of sense for this team. The decision's kind of Sanderson or Vermelka.
In my rankings, Dobish is like just a hair below Swayman even. Like he's really projecting very well with a 58 game projection that I built in. And I kind of thought Vijmelka would be much better with a 60, I guess 3 more games played sort of projection, but just isn't. And maybe I'm being too bullish on Dobish. I don't know. Maybe a 3 goalie split there or not. It's kind of hard to say. But yeah, doesn't love Vijmelka. I think the one goalie.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. How many starts do you have for Dobish for Melka?
Yeah, 58 for Dobish, which I think might be a little bit high, and Vijmelka 61. I think I might want to lower Dobish starts. I think that's almost too bullish. I think
I'll happily take Vijmelka minus 3.5 or whatever.
Yeah. Vijmelka started a lot of games last year.
Yeah. I want to say they went out and got a actual backup, but
I don't even think. Yeah, I'll say off here, but they got somebody better than the nobody they had, but it wasn't anybody that I was losing my mind over. It was Kosa. That's right. They traded for Kosa.
Yes. Okay.
Which isn't that concerning, but he is a player in the league.
Right. He is a goalie who could get hot and steal starts, but so is every single guy, I think, after Igor. Like, everyone's that one guy away. Maybe Saros. All right. I just got Mano to add me as a friend, so I'll pull that up when I get it, probably after our turn coming up here.
Okay. Very fun. Someone asking if we're going to do another draft. I really can't. I got some other stuff I got to work on after this before I go to bed. So I'm not going to do another draft. I don't know if you were going to hang around for any reason whatsoever, but
don't plan on it. No.
We can. I will join the next lobby if there's people that want to draft after this. I'll join another, but I gotta do some studying for a test that I'm either taking this Friday or next Friday.
All right. This is fresh off the presses from by my money, one of the best NHL drafters out there. Overlay tool. Let's see. Got to zoom out. I mean, this is exactly what you're looking for in that sort of a build. Playoff weeks, exposures, and sort of dynamic ranking system. So let's see. Am I on the clock? Not yet.
In 3. So that's what I'm going for.
Stay tuned to the Discord where he will link to that and all that good stuff.
Fucking damn it! Obviously, Flop Winner was going to take Raymond. I don't know why I thought he'd get back to me. He took Larkin.
Oh,
Low Sider.
Some more. We got more. We got more goodness, DJ. Draft capital. Breaking it. Okay. All right. This is some cool stuff.
I need to just steal this, I think. but okay.
Literally
Moods,
theft.
that okay.
Literally
Moods,
theft.
that
All right.
puts you on the clock.
Unfortunately, I didn't take Jake Sanderson. I was thinking
Yeah.
about the 2-tap turn, but John Tavares does make it, and this fits naturally.
All right, I'll do the Cousins thing. I don't need to think too hard about it myself. I am a Dylan Cousins slappy. I've been for the past 3 years. Last year, I was like almost a little bit rewarded because I think he had a pretty good playoffs if I remember correctly. And the thought process is like, well, if he doesn't do it now, is he ever going to do it? And if you don't think Dylan Cousins hits a lot of people, you'd be wrong. So there's also just sort of the ancillary. Yeah, last year I had 215 hits. So you just got to get these background stats as well. That do boost him up a decent bit in my rankings.
Dylan Cousins. Oh, his last WHL season, his top comp is Adam Beckman. Second one is Logan Stankoven, which is kind of cool. Tisha Ginla, Jagger Firkus, Dylan Gunther. The good old times. All right. Last year in the NHL, though, yeah, 142 index on the hits, which means he was 42% better than the average. And he stuffed all the categories. 18% better primary points wise, and everything else is between there and 42% for hits. So he's just very good in all categories for you there. All right. Anything interesting at the turn here? Roman Yossi. That's about right. McDavid guy gets Bouchard Hyman.
Yeah. Yep.
And
that's a pretty spicy meatball. 2 picks away. I'm not optimistic my guy's going to get back to me, and I am trying to plot.
Oh, boy. Are you trying to?
Man, I'm just not seeing like any stackable pieces until
you pretty desperately need
all right.
Yeah. Well, good
I
luck.
will take those all.
Yeah. Okay. You needed that for sure.
Yeah. Goalie was going to slip away. I think Dostal is the last of his kind type of guy, and goes where I like to take him. He is definitely one of my highest drafted players. So yeah, this is all well and good.
Yeah, I don't really like Nyes.
Did
that
you
much.
time out?
No, I'm still here.
A couple seconds.
Ooh, geeky. I'll go geeky with pasta.
Yeah.
I just don't really like Nyes that much. I feel like there's multiple ways for him to fail, and I just don't think he's that good for pick 100. In all honesty.
I think that's fair. I like the reason I think I have like one Nyes is because of the really just like the Eriksson Ek, Stamkos. The range is kind of loaded, and the one guy that continues to fall quite a bit is Barzal, is it Barzal or Barzal? I kind of said that like I know what I'm talking about, but
I don't know. I'm not.
Do you think he can shoot the puck again, or was that a 1-year glitch and he's just never going to shoot?
I don't think he's a shooter by nature, so no. I don't really think there's much there to him beyond, Schaefer goes nuts and Horvat scores 1 billion goals, and then they drag Barzal around with him because, he's a great playmaker. But I'm not incredibly bullish on him.
Okay. That's fair.
We will have this conversation once again next week.
I certainly will. Okay. We are coming
Stevie
up on.
Quinn is just out here vibing. No goalies yet. Best of luck there.
Yeah, it's high time. I have taken a couple drafts where I've pushed goalie maybe more than I'm comfortable with, and then end up in this range getting my second goalie being Brandon Bussey or a Skarov or something, and it's like, all right. I mean, there's an angle here. You're not dead in the water, but it can feel a little bit stinky. You are, Garrett. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna fuck me, and that's fine. But
I think I kind of need the center.
Well, do that. Up to you at this point. I can realistically take Morrissey or Carlson.
I'm just gonna stand for something. I took Bedard. I'm just gonna grab Frondell.
Which of these two defensemen do I think have a chance of getting back to me between Morrissey and Carlson? I'd like both of them.
Yeah, I looked at it and I'm like, I don't care enough about John Carlson to not just grab, Byram, Clark, Sergachev from that.
Ranking say Carlson. I'll go Carlson first. And if Morrissey gets back to me, he does. And if he doesn't, I can move on to somebody else.
Yeah, I personally would have taken Morrissey just because I think there's more necessity for Connor to have Morrissey have a good year versus there's not an insignificant chance, but not a significant chance, but a reasonable one that Victor Hedman is the guy there. It's not a super high chance. He's probably washed, but what if he was actually just hurt last year? And John Carlson's also old as shit. Morrissey, we know, is the unquestioned guy there. So
I agree. I just decided to consult the rankings alone. Where is Morrissey? Oh, no, Morrissey is actually just above John Carlson. I just missed him, so I was wrong. I don't know how I missed him, but I guess I just completely missed him. I thought I checked for him.
It's just very close. He's just the best at reading, folks.
It's like 20 points of difference. Up Morrissey went. Well, alas, I will not get 3 defensemen by pick 125.
Yeah, that would have been objectively horrendous, I think.
Yeah. Well, objection, sir. I am horrendous.
Yeah, Tom puts it perfectly. Big problem with having projection is being unable to read. Yeah, you just need the robot
not great.
to fix for you, sir.
Agreed. I mean, they're going to take my job of being bad at drafting, and that's the most concerning part of AI to me. This is getting into, and I think it's just the nature of being in these smarter lobbies, though, of nobody's taking any of the baits here, and they're taking the guys I want, and I'd like for them to stop. I don't see any stackable players anywhere near me right now, and I may need to pivot to another team. And I think with my wing room, I did start wing, but let's get back to Owen Tippett and try to get a couple pieces maybe on that Philadelphia team. Owen Tippett is a guy that in the right situation in Philly next year could be an absolute steal at 125, but is he going to get that opportunity? Is he going to get that role? Is he going to get that leash? And if not, could be phased out of the offense a bit with more guys ascending into larger roles such as Porter Martone and hopefully Michkov. This has been an interesting lobby, to say the least. I have a 4-man mega stack and then nothing. I don't know what you would think of that, but Point, Kucherov, Gensel, John Carlson stack with no other stacks is not what I was hoping to build today. I think I should have gone.
I don't think it's incredibly bad or anything to have one stack early. I mean, because at some point you're giving up a significant amount of equity if you're going out of your way to stack Tampa and another team in these early rounds. That's where the ADP capital does get lost when we're stacking. So a 4-stack I think could be fine. Obviously, in the case that you have, you really need to make sure in the playoff weeks, if Tampa has a light week, you need one-offs or mini stacks from teams that have heavy weeks in those, so trying to yin and yang that way would be the primary focus. Once you're saying, if Tampa has a great year, I have a chance, because if Tampa has a bad year, you're not making the playoffs. So that's sort of what you need to build around now, rather than just finding any 3-man stack is sort of my mindset there. It's just find players that fit the schedule versus finding more stacks.
It's interesting, the stacks.
The ghosts
as well. So you, after I took Tippett, took Noah Dobson. I do think Noah Dobson, and that is your first defenseman, I will add. But of course, another finding I think you somewhat covered, but maybe could cover more, is I think that the capital of defensemen kind of is where you should be applying the least amount of draft capital in general. And Noah Dobson is a very good player to fill a gap on a team like yours, where he's going to be producing points on a consistent basis. It's just maybe the ceiling isn't super high. So are you thinking now, like, man, I really want to try to get an Erik Karlsson or a Dougie Hamilton or somebody with a little bit more boom in their game?
No. I was hoping for McAvoy to make it to me, but I'm gonna take Byram if he's there for me. Like I have the Chicago stack, so that was basically my plan. Was I think Dobson, though, he just covers so many categories. Like I will pull him up over here, but we might have even done this last week too. But Noah Dobson, just the category coverage you get from him is extremely good. A reminder, this is last year playing behind Lane Hudson. So, like, he wasn't even getting the premier power play role, and he had awesome, point rates, primary point rates, shot rates, blocks rates. That's what I'm looking for. Most similar season to last year by a country mile is 2020 Ryan Pulock. If that doesn't scream a moods, dude, I don't know what does. So,
God, I missed that year. I missed that Pulock year
like,
so bad.
Even though he's obviously behind Hudson, I think that's priced in, and he's one injury away. And he's also a guy who gets there via all stats when he's playing, not just power play reliant and point reliant specifically.
I am running into an interesting situation here. 3 picks away. I don't know if all of the guys will get back to me, but there's like 4 guys I want to pick with this next pick. And
start working the phones.
One of them does go. Fuck.
God, you would want to take William Eklund.
Well, he was the last guy. I mean, it's Michkov, Velarde, or John Gibson here for me. And I think, unfortunately, just because of draft capital, I kind of have to take John Gibson because without him, my goaltenders, I need a third goalie way too bad.
He publishes a manifesto, and then he gets Michkov 5 picks after ADP in his first fast draft afterward.
It pains me more than anybody to watch you get Bedard, Frundell, and Michkov on a fucking team together. It's despicable to me that this has happened. Yeah. But if I don't get Gibson, I'm not getting Decord. I'm not getting a third goalie worth fucking anything, and I have Dobush and Dostal. Like, I just lose. Gibson. The problem with Gibson. Oh Jesus! Let me fucking wail my knee into my desk. The problem with Gibson last year was there was like 4 goalies on that stupid team that all sucked, and now there's nobody. Like, Talbot is gone. He's retired, right? Like, officially, I believe.
I don't think that. No, I honestly have not done much goalie thought.
Talbot's not on a team. So. I have done a lot because I went through every goalie and applied a number of starts. The backup in Detroit next year. If you know what, this is who he played for right here. Guy of the year. You have any idea who the backup is off the top of your
head? Is it Laurent Brossoit?
It is not. He is on a team. Brossoit is, but not this team. Huh. It is a player who was I will say, you know what? He won 13 games last year in the NHL.
Well, it's going to be Alex Lyon when he's part of the Dylan Larkin trade, but
I will say the answer is no. I will say that he only played for the team he played for last year for 1 year. He was the backup, obviously. I think there were some people that were like, ooh, what do they see in him? Because maybe there's more that meets the eye. Like, this team's going out and getting him. Interesting. To be the backup behind. Any thoughts?
Well, it's not Ville Husso, right? He was already there.
No.
And then went to Anaheim. And then
he's on Anaheim, and so is Brossoit.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I've done my Ducks research for the year.
I'm pretty sure I gave Brossoit 2 games. Let me look. I gave I gave Brissois 4 games.
Wait, did Comrie wind up there?
Nope.
Okay.
God, Comrie, it's gonna hit me at some point where he ended up. Man, that's an interesting one. Is he back on Winnipeg?
No, because they got Skinner.
No, they got Skinner. That's right. I know I gave him a projection.
God, there's someone out there who's dialed in who's just like, these guys are the biggest fucking morons in the world.
I know the answer.
Wait, did Connor Ingram re-sign with? Is he still in Edmonton?
He's with nobody.
Nobody.
Where did Comrie end up? This is actually bothering me.
Wow. Wait.
You're on the clock.
Yeah, I see. Darcy Kemper, come on down.
Wow, the bravest boy there never was. I need a defenseman. I need a lot of things. My team is bad. There are like, you know what? Actually, do I have 2 picks coming up? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go down the board.
Is DJ learning how snake drafts work?
I was trying to remember if this was the turn back or not.
I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed that I was wrong in guessing your top exposures when you're dipping down the board to grab Owen Tippett and Jared McCann. I almost said James.
Tippett was up literally at ADP. I picked him at he's 128.3. I took him at 125. 3 picks. All right, are you going to guess this goalie, or do you want me to tell you?
I will just. Okay, whatever. I'm just looking at the team names, thinking of backup goalies. Like, I don't know what else to do. So.
Okay, I will give you. Would you like a hint, sir?
Is it Jonas Johansson?
No.
Is he in Sweden finally?
This goalie was on a different team the year before last year and was a backup. And then he went to this team last year, and again, people were like, "Ooh, like."
I gathered that when you said he was in.
Interesting. This is a good team, and they just picked up this goalie, and he's gonna be their backup. And I don't know if things went good or bad because I don't want to give too much away, but he's not there anymore. Neither goalie is there anymore.
Neither goalie is there anymore. What the fuck? Neither goalie is there. So who? Akira Schmid?
Akira Schmid is now the backup on this team.
Oh. Wait. On
the team that this goalie was the backup for last year is now Schmid.
What? Oh, Tarasov.
Yep, Tarasov. There you go. He is the backup in Detroit. There we go. We got there. Yep. Oh, that was fun. All right. I took McCann so I can take
my evil counterpart.
I know I got Sider, Carlson, Montour. I have a very big need at center, but Point, Heischer, and Cousins I'm okay with for now. But yeah, it was Tarasov. Yep. Oh, Matt Moody NHL said it too. Oh man, you got roasted by yourself. That was a definite good who we play for guy. I think my favorite who we play for guy is Connor Sheary. Who he play for?
He's not in the NHL. That's a lie.
He signed an NHL contract.
Who he played for last year? I don't even.
He played on the Rangers.
Holy shit, he did. Wow.
When you've gone through every NHL roster,
Connor Sheary went to Winnipeg, didn't he?
No. I will say he has played for this team in the past.
So Pittsburgh?
No,
there's no way. Connor Sheary, what in the world happened to you? Where did you go? Did you go to Washington?
He did not.
He's not playing there, that's for sure. He signed everyone else in the league.
They signed everybody so they didn't have room for Connor Sheary. And this team, they found room for him. He's only 34. I will also add that.
Floored.
He's not. But this team is like, you know what? We do have a couple wing spots open. I suppose. I suppose we will give a 1 year $8.5 or $850,000 contract to.
Like, damn, is this Patrick Kane money?
Yeah, I literally almost just said that. Yeah.
I'm legitimately not sure. I can
that.
tell you. He played for Buffalo, but there's no way he signed to Buffalo, right? I would have known.
He signed in Buffalo. He
did not sign an NHL deal in Buffalo.
He signed an NHL contract in Buffalo. Like, I don't know.
He signed a two-way. No. You're lying.
It is not a two-way deal. Like, it is a contract with the Buffalo Sabres. Like, I don't know what else there is to tell you. You were on the clock in 3 picks. I will also warn you. But yeah, that happens.
Holy shit. It is just a guaranteed $850K.
Just there you go. Welcome back to Buffalo, my friend.
This guy. God. I mean, some people are saying Yarmo might have it figured out. Like, many people are saying more and more that this guy just might be the sharpest.
In the middle of the night, that happened. And I know that happened because I did have to consider, and I did not include him in my Sabres projected lineup.
Just so gross.
All right. I am going to take this guy first, even though I don't want to, but I do have a little correlation here that I'm going to build around. So why not? But yeah, that happened. That was another one of my who he played for.
Yes,
favorite.
We have my counterpart here. Don't know who this is. Well played. But you really need to be Sissima. Like, that's how you really you need go find your Discord Sissima account and say hi.
You know, here's another one. That you ready for another who we play for?
I was born ready for this.
Jamie Alexiak.
Ooh. Did he go back to Dallas?
No, did not go back to Dallas. This was another one where I was like, oh my God. I actually forgot him at first, and I was like, something's wrong here. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. And then no. He does feel like a Boston guy, but not no.
Tom in the chat got it. I would not have gone there.
Yeah, Vancouver is exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just got to start. You got to start somewhere, you know. Another one. This one may be incredibly obvious, and another guy I just forgot at first completely. I was like, wait a minute, because when I ran the projection, he was screwing something up for a team, and I was like, oh my God, he's not on that team anymore. Jake Middleton.
I saw something about him, but I don't remember where.
Jake Middleton, who he played for?
I got nothing. I don't know.
Anybody in the chat without looking it up? I will give you a second here if you'd like. Tua, way to get Sam Miskevich. Very smart pick.
Damn it, I forgot about that. That would have been a great bit.
Tom, all over it. It was the Calgary Flames. He was a part of the Blake Coleman trade.
Oh, yeah. I was reading about the Coleman trade, and yeah, that's where that came up.
Do not let Shane Pinto get back to me. The Cousins Pinto connection will live.
Yeah, the people just got to stop letting me get 80% Tyler Bertuzzi, because I will get 80% Tyler Bertuzzi. I'm not afraid.
You want another one? And I feel like you'll know this one.
Try me. I was literally across the ocean during free agency, so
I again, I did put him in a team, and when I did it, I was like, huh? Because I did not remember this happening. Who he played for? Andre Burakovsky.
Oh, he signed with the Islanders.
That's wrong. So, no.
Who signed with someone who I picture being very similar to Burakovsky signed with the Islanders?
Michelli?
I'm trying to think of that first, because there's their only move.
Michelli did.
Michelli, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Burakovsky.
Tom Olson is wrong. He is no longer on Chicago.
Yeah.
The next person is right, so don't look if you want to guess still that.
I'm not looking.
Okay.
Burakovsky. I was,
Matt,
young
Matt moves NHL
centers.
also, right?
Yeah, I mean, Google is freely available.
I do trust that Mano did know
No,
did know
nah,
the answer, but yeah,
let's go Anaheim.
wrong.
What was it?
Ottawa.
Wow.
All right. Do you want another one? This one's just I never imagined this player playing on another team. Like I just assumed he'd play on the Islanders and then he'd just retire. But then again, no, actually, I think he actually was.
Utah.
It's Ross Johnson. Ross
Oh
Johnson.
wow, Ross Johnston. Oh my God, he signed somewhere so stupid.
So stupid. Yes, exactly right. I mean, it was one of those where I was like, oh fuck, where do I put him? Because this team has a lot of wingers. As a small hint, and like guys that like somebody's gonna have to play center here. I feel like of the mix of wing eligible players
No,
on.
wait, I was doing this with the team. What team was it? Where I was looking at it, and I was
Orlando Solar Bears is not right, but a really good guess. Tom Olsen did nail it.
When was I thinking about Ross Johnston though? That's what I don't understand. Like, what team
every
was
one
I
of
like?
your
Oh, let me figure out their
spicing his dreams.
Was it Chicago?
No.
Okay. I don't know.
It's just a much stupider team.
Annoying. It's so annoying. I definitely.
It's not a good team. I will say. You're on the clock.
Yeah.
Not an overtly good team. I will not sugarcoat it or try to pull any punches here.
I certainly will not be taking a lot of Philip Broberg, but on a Holloway team where I didn't get Thomas and Snuggerud and I took a late McTavish, I think Broberg's fine. It's going to get a ton of minutes. I probably in a vacuum would take Samuelson just for, like ice time and Dahlin exposure, but like raw fantasy points. But I think the stacking makes a little bit more sense because I have Dobson for like the one-off stopper kind of guy in my rotation.
This guy is rank 250 for me. But this is a guy last year that I feel like probably got drafted like 80 to 90% and failed miserably.
Yeah.
Cole Perfetti.
Yeah.
I don't mind going back to the well with Kyle Connor team. Like maybe they split up the top line a little bit and Perfetti gets that top line, top power play role. And like he's a guy I don't hate at the end of drafts.
That is the goal. Yep. And I mean, and you're sort of betting on Vigo Bjork just being
Vigo
a number two center that they just haven't had in so long.
Like Cole Perfetti kind of quietly, and mainly because he missed so much time, kind of had better rates than I think you'd think in all categories. Like 54 hits, 33 bucks, 136 shots on goal isn't gonna jump off the screen to you, but I only think he played I try to remember how many. Let me look it up. He definitely nowhere near 82.
It's not gonna look good when I do this for you, but I will do it for you just for
Perfetti last year played 68 games.
Here are his rates. He played 15 minutes a night, almost 50% of power play time, but had a really poor year. But he came back and was dealing with injuries. So he's one of those guys where when I do my exercise or I cut the season off, probably post-Olympics, it's just a natural place to do it and say, like, what would we think about this guy if this was all we knew about him? I feel like Perfetti might be one of those guys for this year. Blast of the past, number one comp from last year, Dennis Gurianov. And also his 5-on-5 was slightly better shots wise than in all situations.
I think,
but there was definitely a step backwards last year for him versus like, he's not a bad player. He just had a bad year last year.
I think he is a very interesting case in like if everything works out, meaning that he plays 84 games and is getting a bigger top six role. Like we meant, he only like 15 minutes a night, and Winnipeg needed to rely on him. They had to find a way to do that, and they couldn't. They couldn't do it, like injuries, whatever. It's make or break time. And with my last round pick, when I already have Kyle Connor, who I'm basically saying is going to be that 40 plus goal scorer, I don't mind throwing him in there and hoping. Oh yeah, with St. Louis. Yeah, I don't know if I ever said it.
Yeah.
We did plan on doing who we play for before. I completely forgot about it. Glad we sort of mixed it in. It is a lot of fun. And when you go through every NHL roster to build projections, because my projections have 727 players, there are guys like, for example, Winnipeg, if you're thinking like, where's Jack St. Ivany? Well, my projections have him in there. So you could find it that way.
Yeah.
If you need to find who might be the 7th defenseman, that is a problem. But there are some players. Logan Stanley actually still showing up for Winnipeg because he didn't sign a contract.
Hasn't signed anywhere, right?
Yeah, so he didn't get removed yet.
That's
and it didn't capture his trade to Buffalo, and I would have removed him from Buffalo regardless. So there was some guys in here that are wrong, and I could probably make some better projections, but it isn't impacting like the role that Morrissey's getting, or Neil Pionk, who is like just on the outside looking in as a draftable player, but a guy we were taking last year. But yeah, no, I think the projections are getting pretty solid to where I like them, and the overlay tool I'll probably start building. And yeah, man, let us know next week if you want to jump on, show us what you're up to. We'll start getting some more friends and family as the year goes on, and we get into the home stretch of Best Puck Summer, which is September 1st, but we'll call it next week.
All right. Do you want to look at the draft board, or do you want to get out of here?
I'll pull up the draft board for a minute.
All right. Yeah, I could talk about hockey all day, but time is of the essence, and it's already been an hour and 20 that we've been live, basically. So, all right. Nothing crazy in the first round there. Kucherov and Pasta for you and me. You go pretty heavy Tampa with a later goalie build than me, and I go Boston pretty heavily. I ended up taking – I didn't get McAvoy, but I did get Geeky, Zaka, and Swayman. I backstacked St. Louis late. Honestly, didn't even consult I printed out the playoffs just so – because I got sick of using multiple screens, one of them having the playoff schedule. We were busy chatting. I did not look at it, so we'll see if I made any glaring mistakes. Doesn't actually look like stacking St. Louis and Boston is all that bad, so slight W for me there.
Someone took Murashov before Gustafson.
Interesting. Yeah.
I guess they did have Wallstead already, so
yeah, okay.
At that point, I was like, wait.
And anyway, I finished off with a Giga Chicago 4-stack as well. So not usually a 4-stack kind of guy, but they kind of fell to me. I kind of got aggressive on Frondell because I needed a center and didn't want to take Sam Bennett, really, was sort of my predicament. And I definitely didn't want to take Brock Nelson because I feel like I have like 6 shares of Brock Nelson already. And that feels like a lot for having done like 15 drafts, including slows, that have made it to that point. So elsewhere in the lobby.
Okay. I'll run through it very quickly. I feel like I did a decent job covering it on the fly, but it's a Tampa onslaught. Kucherov, Gensel, Point, and John Carlson. I am probably going to end up with more Mo Seider as time goes on. The ranks, everything I do to them, like him more than his ADP. It's basically like, hey, Mo Seider is just a very, very, very slightly worse Rasmus Dahlin. I believe it's by a couple of points. It is 4.6 point difference in projection between the two, and they're going pretty, not incredibly far apart, but I think far enough apart that gap should be closed a bit. So I'm probably going to get a bit more of him. I didn't end up getting any of the stackable pieces, which I have done many times. Not that I think you have to stack Detroit or that Mo Seider is like a uniquely stackable player. Like he can get there probably on his own, but I definitely think getting pieces around it would be nice. Kyle Connor.
Honestly, what's the difference between Mo Seider and Noah Dobson?
Power play 1
on the Detroit Red Wings. Like, I don't know. That doesn't tell me, especially with no Larkin, who he knows like an actual power play converter. But because if I'm going to be heavy on Mo Seider, I'm going to be heavy on DeBrincat and Raymond. That's for sure.
I wish I was. I didn't get them. Right. They were not acquired by me. You see, because
interesting name.
Seider,
Because I do feel like
then
Seider's priced in, like that production that you're mentioning is priced in.
I got 730 projected points for Mo Sider, and I have 618.9 for Dobson, who is going 35.8 picks after his ADP, or his ADP is that much later than it should be. Like I'm in lockstep. Like Noah Dobson, great pick. I probably would end up having a lot of him as well, and I think that's something that this really uncovered to me. That's probably another player to consider pretty highly. Although I do think that what's built into this is that neither of them have the biggest ceilings in the world. Whereas like Dahlin, obviously, I mean, he had a hat trick last year. The guy's sick. Ceiling to the moon and back. Rest of my team, I'll read off pretty quickly. I didn't get a lot of stacking pieces with Hischier. Cousins I got with Pinto. My big problem is in net with Dobish, Dostal, and John Gibson. But I do think there's a good number of starts there. I just don't really trust any of them to be league winners. So I hope one of them can be good in different spurts. I think Tippett is fine and a good upside. I think Raquel is like one of the best picks at ADP, and he slid pretty far after. So I was pretty proud of that pick. Other than that, I did jump and up the board a bit to take the McCann Montour stack, but I think those are the best two players from a fantasy perspective on a team, and getting them that late, I'm fine with. But could Seattle be a total zero with fantasy? Maybe, but I don't mind getting a little mini stack there. And finally, I closed it off with Malkin as well to go with Raquel, which may not be a line, but could be, and Cole Perfetti as a last round, final 5 picks bucket dog. What if Cole Perfetti actually figures it out?
Okay. Elsewhere, that took a little longer than I thought. So the only really odd decisions I thought were from CE Quinn here, where he just ignored the goalie position and then grabbed 4 of them in round 12. And honestly, not the worst run out. But he did take 4 defensemen before then. So you're so dead at winning.
I think it's defensible, the goalie situation. I don't think that's even like the worst strategy in the free world if you do that. And Wolf, Decord are 2 guys, definitely Wolf. I mean, we know what he can do. I think Decord is in a similar vein. Jake Allen is likely on a team that's, I don't know what their projection is, maybe 90 points, 90 to 95 points. The clear starter. You look at the Devils and you see that there could be a 3 goalie split there is probably the worry, but it's definitely baked in. They picked up Rittich, who we play for. Rittich is on the Devils now to go with Nico Dawes and Jake Allen. So I do have him projected for 48 starts, which isn't, league winning, but if they're in need of wins and Jake Allen's giving them to them, that number could be blown right by. So I like that, but the McCarr, Schaefer, if you do that, you just got to be like done at defense. You're not taking.
Yeah, you need to go Shea Theodore in the last round and just be done with it.
I honestly think you just or you just don't take another defenseman at all. Like there's just no, like if both of them fail and you're using a third defenseman, you are fucked. Yeah.
And then Brock Favors, like Jesus Christ, dude. Like
just
figure it out.
Yeah, that is the weirdest team. I mean, there's a couple teams in here I think that did again. But there's defensive.
Hold on, was this an auto draft? Is that possible?
A lot of those guys make sense.
I don't know. Yeah.
But 4 goalies just seems, and Jack Quinn.
Yeah.
There's no way Jack Quinn has an ADP.
I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, no, it's a known thing. So I don't know how to say his name. We're just out here trying to fucking survive. I read it like like Siri would, or your GPS would.
Yeah.
It's just like it looks like that. That's fine.
I really like what Guy was doing. I kept kind of noticing that team as like that's kind of stacking decently. The goalie situation there got a little bit crazy, but got quite a few, I think, pretty decent stacks with like a little bit of Montreal, Carolina. I thought that team was interesting. I'm not drafting Verhaeghe personally. I just don't know how he fits in, but he's a player in the league.
Don't even know what the. All right, the last year for Mr. Aaron Ekblad. I guess I can do that on the main screen because I'm sure people are curious. So like, what the hell? Aaron Ekblad, goals bad, primary points actually not the end of the world. Points, shots, hits, blocks, all like right around the average, but he gets a lot of minutes still, 86th percentile there. But when they were actually a good team, he did have a little bit of viability there. He's not.
Yeah,
old,
I have him as in elite tier for time on ice at 5-on-5. So I have him probably being one of the more aggressively kind to Aaron Ekblad, and he's still 241 for rank, but you had some Florida, so sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just never would have even thought to even consider that.
Yeah, I haven't done that personally, and I'm a guy that did draft quite a bit of Gustav Forsling one year, so
that did happen. I do recall.
I can be pretty fucking stupid, in case you're wondering. Trying to think of anybody else that I noticed as being. One player I did want to mention that I wondered your thoughts on. I don't think he shows up he shows up as the 224th player in my rankings and a very, very bad pick at ADP. But Ryan Leonard, he gets drafted in every draft. Are we being stupid? Or is there just not enough room on this boat to carry Ryan Leonard?
Yeah, you have to get multiple things right for him to be even a useful guy on your team, and then that's really the tough part. Like you look at his pro. God,
why is my
another guy
why
that
is
I
my
literally
hit projection 136.3?
Yeah,
does he hit guys?
Yeah, he was above average in every facet last year. It's just the problem is how much do we see this 59th percentile time on ice per game grow? 14 minutes last year. That's just not going to cut it. Not power play one. Not going to cut it. So you look at his all situations and it's pretty good, but like, is he getting more ice time to sort of up his power play numbers or to sort of up his raw numbers because the rates are good? Kind of hard to see that when you're bringing in Jordan Kyrou and Alex Tuck, who play, if not your position, at least play the wing. So, yeah, that's a tough one.
When I was looking through him, because I just kept seeing him get drafted a lot, I feel like he's gone up the board more and more. And I saw that hit projection, I was like, "Whoa! Like, is this a guy?" And it is weird. That's just a guy I did not know hit that much, and so much upside there, but it's just. I don't know how he gets it done there.
Here, let's see. Let's look at guys last year who were. How old was Leonard? 22?
20, 21, I think. You want to know another guy that's going to show up in the same vein and failed historically bad that I drafted a ton of last year? Who would be my worst draft pick last year? That I drafted the most of, and is ranked next year 322. Oh, sorry,
Marco Casper.
Oh yeah, oh fucking yeah,
yeah.
This guy stinks, and I hate it.
So like Ryan Leonard last year had 39 primary points. That's in line with Snuggerud, Fantilli, who go well ahead of him. Cooley well ahead of him. Michkov, is around him actually, maybe a little earlier, but. So, like, you're not crazy if you say, like, this guy also has a shot tool. It's not like he's, one trick pony. But I just think all of these guys, you look and it's like, oh, yeah, they're obviously going to get more role. And then it's like, Ryan Leonard, you're probably capped at last year, if not worse, considering what last year looked like. So, Marco Casper led to this cohort in hits, too. That's funny.
He's just a fucking... God, I don't want to think about it. Yeah. What he's done to me. Think about what he's done to me. But yeah, this was a fun stream. I had fun personally. And in case everybody out there isn't right now doing this, you did good.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yes. And with that, I will leave you with a funny one. I didn't say the joke yet. What? Okay. I will stop doing that, Matt. Any other thoughts? And I mean the real Matt. So thank you for jumping in here, real Matt, fake moods, if you will.
Yeah, moods.beehive.com. Read the manifesto. I spent literally weeks on it, so much appreciated. Just giving that a like and or whatever. I guess you can like it on Twitter or whatever, but give it a read, give me a click, and check out the rest of my newsletter because there's a lot of good stuff coming throughout the summer, all in front of the paywall. And then when the season starts, there will be more Moods content over on the newsletter, one free thing a week, and the rest paywalled, likely 1 to 2 additional things per week.
Are you saying that this train is just going to keep rolling into town? From Doug, from Matt, from myself. Drum roll, please.
Couldn't I have born anywhere else in the world? Like, I could be doing the best, like, Australian rules football podcast with someone and just loving life, but no.
Have a good
TGH, moods.beehive.com. It's up here in the chat from earlier, too, but appreciate that.
Moods and Moods podcast, please.
No, you don't want that.
We don't even know who he is yet. Oh, I completely missed the fact that someone guessed Quentin Byfield. He was equally as bad. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, you don't want me talking to myself, and that's obviously me. So anyway,
time to bounce. Have a good rest of your night, everybody. We'll see you. You're saying they're looking like an idiot.
Well, is that any different than normal?
This is the first time I will admit was unbelievably wrong.